Should you drop the name of someone you know when you're interviewing at a new company? Here's your answer. Welcome back to another video. I'm David Pinkley. I'm an expert on hiring and on getting hired. And in today's video, we want to address a question that was sent to me by somebody in my network. Now, this person's about ready to start interviewing at another company. And it just so happens that this company they're interviewing at, they already have a friend who works in that company. And the question is should they mention the name of their friend when they go on their first interview at that company? So let me set the stage just to make it really clear. You're actively looking for a job. Maybe you're passively looking for a job. You got your resume updated. You got your LinkedIn updated. You've done some networking. You've applied to a few jobs. And yes, thank goodness, one of those companies called you and said they want to interview you. Yes. Now the company that called you and said they want to interview you, you happen to have a friend that already works there. So you call up your friend. Is this a good culture? Is this a good company? Are they making money? Is this a good place that I should be considering working? And so on and so forth. Hopefully all those answers are yes, right? And so you show up to the interview. Now you're sitting across from me, the hiring manager in this company. The question is should you drop the name of your friend or not? Now, this is an interesting question because human dynamics are always unpredictable, and corporate politics are equally as unpredictable. You never really know from day to day, month to month, year to year, what exactly is happening. It's not a secret to know that certain companies have some people that are cliquey and they get along and they've got similar experiences, or maybe the same tenure, they've been working together, or maybe they came from another company, shared experiences and so forth, and they kind of get on as a unit. Then there's sort of maybe a whole different group of people that are more recently hired or just have different things in common, and it's not really surprising to anybody that maybe sometimes those two groups of people don't get along. It's corporate politics. It's human nature. It's going to happen. It's in every company. But here's the question. If you name drop the name of your friend or your ally, whomever it may be, there's always a risk. The risk is I might know them and like that person, or I might know them and not like that person. I guess hypothetically there's a third option, which is there is no risk, i.e. I don't know who that person is. Presumably if I'm interviewing at a Fortune 500 or Fortune 1000, big company, thousands of employees, what's the likelihood that I'm going to know Susie Smith or John Jones over there, right? Maybe I don't, and so who cares? It doesn't really matter. But the question here is what if I do know Susie Smith or John Jones? What if I do know the person that is your insider friend at the company? You don't know what my relationship with that person is, and you can't necessarily rely on your friend to tell you the quality of the relationship because maybe they know or don't know how well they're positioned in the company. So here's the way I think about this. When it comes to name dropping, when it comes to mentioning friends or allies that you already know in the interview process, I always think about these people as aces, like an ace card in a deck of cards. The ace is the best card in the deck. And you only want to play your ace card when you have to play your ace card. Otherwise, you want to keep that strength in your hand of cards. You want to keep that strength. You don't want anyone to know you have that ace card until you have to use it, right? And I think about your friend or your ally in the company in a similar way. Don't mention their name until you have to mention their name. And I guess hypothetically, you could go through the entire interview process. Everyone could like you. You could be unanimously decided that you're the candidate, get the offer, accept the job, and start the job before anyone knows that you happen to have this friend that works in the company. That's very plausible. And if that's the way it works, then that's perfectly fine. If you don't need to use the ace card, don't use it. But there are two situations I can think of specifically in which you might want to use your ace card in the interview process. The first situation would be if the interview process stalls out. Maybe you get through the first round or the second round or the third round, whatever, and it just dies. You don't hear back. You're not sure what's happening. No one follows up. You don't know if you're moving forward or not moving forward, right? In that case, if you're trying to sort of catalyze the process again, you could either ask your friend to sort of do some back checking to see what's going on, or maybe there's a way that you could leverage your friend's name as a way of saying, hey, I know so-and-so. Is there a way that we can get started in the interview process? There's a whole different number of ways that you can handle it. The point is that if the interview process stalls out and you're trying to get it moving again or trying to move yourself forward in the process when you otherwise don't know, maybe that's the first instance in which you play your ACE card. Now, the second instance that you might play your ACE card if that doesn't happen is you get all the way to the end of the process and you're down to 2 people. You're a semifinalist. It's you and one other candidate. You don't know who they are. Maybe they're an internal candidate. Maybe they're an external candidate. Maybe they came from the same recruiter or staffing firm or not. You have no idea. All you're trying to do is secure the offer because it's a job you want after having invested all this time in the process. Yes, you want the job. Maybe that's the time at which you play your ACE card. Maybe in a follow-up note, maybe your thank you note, or whatever it may be, or maybe when you just express interest in the job in the last round of interviews, maybe you can say, hey, I know Susie Smith, I know John Jones, as a way to sort of build a sense of familiarity that you already have somebody in the company, and therefore you're a lower risk hire because you already know what you're getting into, you already know the culture based on what they've told you, and so on and so forth. So here's the point. Your inside friend or ally is like an ACE card in a deck of cards. Don't play the card until you have to play the card. And if you never have to play the card and you still get the job, perfect. That just means you got a new friend when you start the job on day 1. Now, the 2 instances in which you should play the ACE card, 1, to get the interview process moving again, or 2, at the very end of the process when you're trying to secure the offer. Now, those 2 situations still have risk, right? If you're trying to get the process moving forward, you're trying to get the offer, you still have some risk. You're not sure whether or not the name of your friend and your relationship with them is going to help you or not help you. It's still a little risky. But if you're really trying to get the job and you're just trying to sort of pull out the stops to get every last opportunity you can to secure that job, then maybe that's when you play your ACE cards. That's when you name drop. That's when you disclose that you have a relationship there and how that can be beneficial for you if you get hired. I'll be curious what your experiences are with this, if you've done it that way or not, if you have a different point of view. I'll be curious if you have a related question involving that, or maybe you're a hiring manager or an HR person and you have a totally different sort of thought process about whether or not to name drop. I'd be curious to know. Comment below at the bottom of this video. If you have any other questions you want me to address, you can send me a note. I'll do my best to answer it, or maybe even shoot a video like this to answer your question. For the person that sent me this question, I hope this helps you, and good luck out there in job search land. I will hope to see all of you soon.